Hello 12th class. This is your chapter 12 Computer Networks part 2, lecture number 2. So in the previous class you learned about some new things of computer networks, that is topologies, protocols, wireless technologies. Okay. So in this class we will learn about mobile communication technologies, mobile processors, chat protocol, network security concepts. So now let's get start our class. The first one is mobile communication technology. So nowadays mobile is very important. So it is a cellular based network which gave mobile phone name cell phone. So the popular mobile technologies are one generation, two generation, third generation, fourth generation and fifth generation. So the first one is the first generation. It is used for voice calls as analog signal. No data was transmitted. This technology used as AMPs, that is Advanced Mobile Phone System. An AMP was a voice-only network operating on 800 MHz. Speed is up to 2.4 kbps. In this, very poor voice quality was there, large phone with limited battery life and no data security. Second generation. So this is a second generation. In this some new feature were introduced. So it is a simple text messaging were edited, means SMS were added in this second generation. New services such as text messaging, packet data for MMS and internet access called ID also introduced. SIM card. The data transfer rate up to 64 kbps. Now disadvantage was low network range, slow data rates. So to overcome these two problems, two new network, that is CDMA and EDGE, that is enhanced data rate for GSM evolution, were introduced. Now third generation. So in this generation, web browsing, email, video conferencing, video downloading, picture sharing and other smartphone technologies were introduced. Devices are called the smartphones. Fast communication, data speed between 144 kbps to 2 mbps. The quality of voice is very high. It supports multimedia also, means playing music, videos, video call, etc. So mobile TC, mobile internet is there in this third generation. Now next is fourth generation. So the speed of this generation is from 100 Mbps to 1 Gbps. It based on the LT, that is advanced long term evaluation. Voice as VoP. In this, voice over internet protocol is used. So here better video calling, then 3G and video conferencing is also there. Now fifth generation, so it is yet to be implemented in India, which promises super fast data transfer rate up to 20 Gbps along with energy saving. So these are the technologies of mobile. Now next is mobile processor. So mobile processor is also called the brain of smartphone. Mobile processor receives a command, makes instant calculations, plays audio, video, store information and send signal throughout the device. So mobile processor has majorly two sub-processor, that is communication processing unit and application processing unit. So it is popular mobile processors are the Qualcomm Snapdragon 865, Apple A13 Bionic and Samsung Exynos 990, etc. These are the latest some popular processors. Now communication processing unit. So it is responsible for making and receiving phone calls on a mobile handset. It works with the two subunit, that is RF transceiver and audio subsystem. So what is RF transceiver? It is responsible for connecting SIM card to base station through radio signal. It uses networks like 2G, 3G and LT. Audio subsystem, that is responsible for converting the voice signal analog to digital signal. In this, it receives voice input through an inbuilt mic and can produce audio output and send it to its inbuilt speaker. Now application processing unit. So it is responsible for performing operations like making calculations, playing music, internet surfing, playing videos, connecting to other devices, chat, screenshot, making videos, saving data, etc. Next is chat protocol. So some popular chat protocols are IRC and XMPP. So IRC, that is Internet Relay Chat. It is a chat protocol that has been around since 1988. It is a simple protocol and is a quick to parse on the server side, requiring a little resources. IRC does not require any user authentication, only that the connecting username must be unique in a channel. Now XMPP, Extensible Messaging and Presence Protocol, that is based on XML. It requires each user must have registered unique IDs. WhatsApp, Facebook, Google Talk is using this protocol. So these features are user identity, multiple logins, persistent messages, popularity and personal messages. These are the features of XMPP. Next is video conferencing. So in this, the H323 protocol is one of the most widely developed deployed protocols in video conferencing. So that is a technology by means of which two or more parties situated in different geographical location can watch and converse with each other by means of a two-way transmission of video and audio data in near real time. Now Wi-Fi 802.11x protocol. This is a wireless fidelity protocol. This protocol allows devices to connect to the internet without a direct line from your device to ISP, Internet Service Provider. Its maximum coverage area is 100 meters. The transmission speed is up to 54 Mbps and it is mostly used in LAN application because it also uses the radio wave spectrum. Now Wi-Fi hotspot. So a hotspot is a venue that offers Wi-Fi access. We can share our internet through Wi-Fi. We can share out internet through Wi-Fi hotspot. We can set the hotspot with or without password. You already know what is hotspot. So at one time we can connect up to 10 devices with hotspot. Now WiMAX 802.16y protocol. So this stands for the wireless internet operability for microwave access. So this WiMAX is used in MAN application. The speed maximum range is 90 km and the speed is 70 Mbps. Now network security concept. So when you form a network, its security is very important. If a network is secured, no other parties can harm it or can retrieve your data. So this network security is any activity designed to protect the usability and integrity of your network and data. It includes both hardware and the software technology. So some threats to network securities are virus, worm, Trojan horse and spams. First is virus. So you know virus is a malicious program that is used to damage your system and files. So virus attach itself to program or file so that it can spread from one computer to another, that leaving infection as it travels. So some virus cause only annoying effects like changing desktop icons, while others are damage your hardware, software or files. So almost all viruses are attached to an executable file. It means the virus cannot infect your computer unless you run or open the program or file. So be aware while opening any executable files. It means the computer virus cannot spread without a human action. So damage caused by the virus, damage or deleted files. So it will delete or damage your files, that it may also slow down your system. Next is invade your email program. So some form of viruses may wreak even more havoc by spreading themselves to the contact in your address book. Now prevention from virus. You have to use the antivirus software. Regularly update your antivirus. Do not download any email that is sent from the unknown sender. Don't click on any email. Okay, it's better you have to type the link in the address bar. So disconnect the internet if you are away and disable the cookies if possible. Next is worm. So worm is a self-replicating program which eats up the entire disk space or memory. A worm keeps on creating its copies until all the disk space or memory is filled. Worms harm to a computer or a computer network by consuming bandwidth and slow down the network speed. After the worm has infected a system, it can propagate to other systems via internet or while copying files from one system to another without user interaction. So damage caused by the worm and its prevention. So it eats up the entire disk space. because it is a self-replicating virus. It consumes network bandwidth, they slow down the network speed. Prevention is use the total security software and scan the PC using the option boot time scan. Update regularly. Avoid inserting infected pen drives. Next is Trojan Horse. It is a program that appears harmless, such as text editor or a utility program, but actually perform malicious functions such as deleting or damaging file. With help of Trojan, harm that could be done by the hacker on target computer system are the data theft, installation of unwanted software, keystroke logging, downloading or uploading of files, and many more. Now, prevention: use a total security software, update it regularly, never download any software file from the untrusted website. While using the public computer, check for any addition device connected to it, or be alert of keylogger software. So, for financial transaction, prefer to use the virtual keyboard rather than keyboard typing. Log out from your account and remove history if you are working on public computer. Next is spams. So spam means sending out bulk mail by an identified or unidentified sources. In non-malicious form, the bulk advertisement mail is sent to many accounts. In malicious form, the attackers keep on sending bulk mail until the mail server runs out of disk space. Its damages are: spam reduces the productivity. So billions of spam messages calculating across the internet that can disrupt email delivery. It degrade your system performance and reduce the overall productivity. Next is spam eats up your time. So deleting spam emails like the simple solution, but it eats a significant amount of productivity. So these are the topics of today's class. Now your homework. You have to make a proper notes and then submit your notes to me. Either WhatsApp me, mail me, or you have to write the answers on EdQuack also. Okay. So thank you and have a nice day.